first census since Cyrenius had become governor of Syria. Each person had to go to his or her ancestral city to be counted.
Mary's fiancé Joseph, from Nazareth in Galilee, had to participate in the census in the same way everyone else did. Because he was a descendant of King David, his ancestral city was Bethlehem, David's birthplace.
Mary, who was now late in her pregnancy, that the messenger Gabriel had predicted, accompanied Joseph. While in Bethlehem, she went into labor and gave birth to her firstborn son. She wrapped the baby in a blanket and laid him in a feeding trough because the inn had no room for them.
Nearby, in the fields outside of Bethlehem, a group of shepherds were guiding their flocks from the predators in the darkness of night. Suddenly, a messenger of the Lord stood in front of them, and the darkness was replaced by a glorious light, the shining light of God's glory. They were terrified.
Don't be afraid. Listen, I bring good news, news of great joy, news that will affect all people everywhere. Today, in the city of David, a liberator has been born for
All
you.
right.
He is the promised anointed one, the supreme authority. This will be a sign for you. You will know you have found him when you see a baby wrapped in a blanket lying in a feeding trough.
Really? That's the sign? At that moment, the first heavenly messenger was joined by thousands of other messengers, a vast heavenly choir, and they praised God.
To the highest heights of the universe, glory to God, and on earth peace among all people who bring pleasure to God.
As soon as the heavenly messengers disappeared into heaven, the shepherds were buzzing with conversation.
Let's rush down to Bethlehem right now. Let's see what's happening. Let's experience what the Lord has told us about.
So they ran into town, and eventually they found Mary and Joseph and a baby lying in a feeding trough. After they saw the baby, they spread the story of what they had experienced and what had been said to them about this child.
Everyone who heard their story couldn't stop thinking about its meaning. Mary, too, pondered all of these events, treasuring each memory in her heart.
The shepherds returned to their flocks, praising God for all they had seen and heard, and they glorified God for the way the experience had unfolded, just as the heavenly messenger had predicted.